So there's this talk going around about Kanye West supporting Donald Trump and things of that sort. And there's a lot of black people within the black community, mainly, that just doesn't support what he does, and they just don't support the fact that that he is a supporter of Donald Trump. But I'm here to give my genuine, honest opinion on everything, and I am just here to just say how I feel about the situation. In all honesty, I really don't care that he's Republican. It does not bother me that another black person is a supporter of a Republican president, because at the end of the day, as black people and as a black community, we are all not always going to agree on things, and we're not always going to see the same perspectives on stuff, and we're not always going to have the same agreement on things as far as politics go. Now, I try to stay away from politics because I usually try to stay neutral. Now, am I a supporter of Donald Trump? No. I have my own reasons of why I don't support him, but at the same time, I don't hate Donald Trump. I have nothing. I don't have any anger towards the man. He does make me uncomfortable at times. He does say some things that kind of, that really makes me raise an eyebrow. There are some things that comes out of his mouth, like a lot of times, that I don't necessarily agree with. But at the end of the day, like, if I was to see Donald Trump on the street, or if I was to run into him, I would still be respectful to him, because at the end of the day, he is still my president. And I'm just not the kind of person to disrespect somebody just because I'm not necessarily a fan of who they are and what they do. Just as long as you're being respectful to me, then I just feel that the feeling would be mutual. And so we're all going to support what we support. And I just think that, everyone has that right to support who they want to. And when it really boils down to it, I just think that we all have to learn how to accept that there is going to be other people that's going to have different views on certain things, and we just can't be quick to try to walk around with this mentality, or this woke and conscious mentality that so many people claim to have, because you could be woke and you could be conscious, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to react negatively to every single thing, because a real woke and conscious person will see things from a more open-minded standpoint, and won't necessarily find the littlest things to point the finger of blame at, just because they don't see the same thing you do. But at the end of the day, regardless what political party you support or whose side you stand on, you have to remember at the end of the day that you cannot change the stripes of who you are. You cannot change your skin color, and you're still a black person at the end of the day. You're still black, and you're always going to be black, and you can never change that, and you should never ever turn your back on the black community. And I'm not saying that this is what Kanye West is doing specifically. I'm not even saying that he's even turning his back on black people. But the point I'm trying to get across to people is that, you know, people can't get mad at him for who he wants to support. But at the same time, if he's going to be a supporter of Donald Trump, he can't expect other people to follow his suit either. It's kind of like a two-way street. And that's just the way that I look at it. And, like I said, like, you cannot forget who you are as a black person. You cannot forget who you are, because our ancestors, so a lot of our ancestors were brought to America from a different continent. We have to always remember that. And we have to remember where we came from and how we started. and how our ancestors started and where our people started at. And that's all I pretty much have to say about that. Like, I feel that we've come such a long way, and I still think that as a country, there are a lot of different things that we are still struggling to get past as a country. And I just feel that, these things, we really shouldn't be too focused on bashing each other when we have came from so many years of picking cotton in the cotton fields and leaning on each other's backs, and we just have to continue to do that as people. We have to learn to respect other people's views.